Hello, beautiful people. Good evening and blessings of this very, very beautiful day. I trust your day was well. I trust your day was fine and everything super interesting to do. How is your life? How is family? How is business? How is everything? So share with us in the chat how you're faring basically. And thank you so much for joining us, everybody that will be joining us this evening. My name is Udemabo Einstein and I'm going to be how you can use data and insights to help your business to grow. So, good evening, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. So, in the chat, you are going to be seeing Sandra. So, Sandra is going to, you are going to see her name against the blue spanner. Sandra is going to be our moderator for this session, and my Marachi is at the back to help us get everything done so that we don't have any technical hitches. All right. And so do well to drop a hi for us. Tell us how you're faring. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us how business is and basically how wherever you are is. And just share us in the chat. Just as you join, hit the thumbs up. Number one, hit the subscribe button. Number two, turn on that notification bell. Number three, number four, click on that share button and invite a friend. So tell us your name, tell us where you're joining us from, and basically how your day was, and say hi to Sandra, right? So you're going to be running through this particular very exciting content for the next couple of minutes, and I trust it's going to be worthwhile and your brand, right? So I hope you have some writing materials beside you where you can get to jot down a couple of tips and tricks we are going to be sharing here, right? So that it will be useful for you to always make references to when there is need. So, do well to invite a friend to come join us because we've gotten started already. All right, and I'm going to be asking you some questions, and I hope you ask questions concerning anything on this content, on the content we've had before. Do well to drop it in the chat. We'll be happy to attend to them. And thank you so much once again for joining us. Oh, I can see Sile. Thank you so much, Sile. You're the first person. It's your team so that they can come join us as we get started. All right. So feel free to ask us questions, and because I'm going to be asking you questions as well. All right. So let's see how this goes. So we're going to be doing this in. It's going to be for you to um, identify and understand the right questions to ask. You understand the right questions to ask, which is very key. And then we'll head over to the second part where you'll be able to identify the best tools you can use to gain. We'll go over to the last part where you'll be able to understand and analyze your data sets. And that is very, very key, right? So data is life, said one brand some time ago. Data is life. So if you are not, if you don't make use of data, you may not be having life. If I may use it that way, right? So data is life actually. If you want to browse on the internet, is life. If you want to run a business successfully, because you need to know where you are so that you can be able to project where you are supposed to be headed to, right? So you need those figures, you need those numbers to be able to tell what is happening and what you should do better. All right. So that's and the insights and the various tools that will be you can use to generate all those information and for you to overhaul your strategy, your business strategies. So yeah, so when you join us in the chat, please say something. Let's know that you are here. Silva, thank you for joining. And okay, Sile said I'm in South Africa. Thank you so much. I hope Eastern Cape is beautiful. Faith, thank you so much for joining as well. And every other person, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and then copy the link and then invite somebody. Fanny Ampo, Ghana is beautiful this evening. All right, so this is more like a reminder for those of you who are yet to register or sign up .co/hustle academy, and then sign up for this 1 week packed of everything that is offered to you free of charge from Google. You're going to learn how to do your business growth plan. Then you're going to head over to learning sales. From learning sales, you're going to learn digital marketing with some practicals. From digital marketing, you learn how to pitch, financing, and every other thing. And then you get matched to a mentor to walk you through the entire process where you were lost. So I don't see how generous a brand could be. So take advantage of it. And Sandra is going to be sharing that link in the chats. If you are yet to register, please sign up, and then you'll be picked to join the next cohorts. All right. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to be asking you some questions, and I expect you to ask me some questions across anything, whether what we've discussed so far or what we are discussing today. Do well to ask us. We'll be happy to respond and answer to all your questions, queries, concerns, and whatever it is. All right. So let me ask you the first question. What words would you use to describe your customers? So tell us in the chat what words would best suit your customers. What words would best suit your kind of customers, your kind of audience? So share in the chat what words, what names will you call them? Right? Nasi, could you drop something? Sile, could you drop something? Faith, I'll be waiting for you to say something. And every other person that will be joining us, please do well to say something in the chats. Let's make it super, super, super engaging. So what words would you use to describe your customers? Are they your clients? Are they your customers? Are they your money bag? Something. It could be something fun. Are they your friends? Are they your trusted allies? Whatever it is you call them, whatever words you use to describe them, drop it for us in the chats. And remember to ask Sandra questions wherever you have questions. And they're your clients. Yes, Sile, thank you so much for saying that. And who else wants to say something? All right. So Sile said they call them your clients. Okay. Some people could call them. And just so you know, nobody can be wrong here. You can't go wrong. So feel free. Don't be scared that anybody is going to tell you that your answer is wrong. No, your answer is correct. You can't go wrong here, right? You can't go wrong on your answers. So just drop anything. It's just a way to have you engaged, have you communicating with us. Let's know you're still here, right? So that you won't lose track of ourselves, all right? Thank you so much, Sile. Thank you so much, Faith. And I'm waiting for the next person to say something. All right, so I'm just going to go over to the contents proper while I wait for you to give me your answers. So the first part is for you to understand the right questions to ask. Now, my second question. What questions do you want to ask those your clients? You said clients, you said you call them clients, you said you call them customers. So what questions would you love to ask them? So share with us what questions you would love to ask them if given an opportunity. And learn and speak French with Frances. Thank you so much for joining us and for telling us what you call your customers. And Nasi Afua, thank you so much for dropping your own contribution as well in the chat. So what question would you love to ask your customers? Some people may want to ask their customers, maybe if they are selling food, you ask them for feedback. How was my meal? How was my cooking? How do you see today's meal? Because sometimes things could go wrong. So you could be perfect today, then if you are cooking, especially for cooking, be perfect today, then the next moment you're not perfect again. So you ask for updates every time. So what questions do you think you love to ask your customers? So share with us in the chat. Did I satisfy you? How do you see my services? Something like that. Do you love my products? Do you love my brand? How can we satisfy you better? A lot of those things. So if you have anything in that line that you feel you want to ask your customers, drop it in the chat for us. Let's see how creative you could be with your questions. All right. So again, Sandra is still in the chat to answer to your queries, questions, and every other thing. So let's keep her busy. And every other person that is here, Fanny, I can see you. And let's keep Sandra busy let's keep the chats bubbling. Let's keep the chats busy as we make progress. So drop for us the questions you want to ask your customers. So let's move on. Let's see a typical process. Break this process down into 4 different steps. Now, the first of them is going to be what is my objective? Now, you're the one asking yourself that question. What is my business objective? Right? And then the second one will be what questions do I need to address? Again, and then the third part will be where do you want to get that information from? And then when you get, do you want to do with the information that you've gotten? Right? So your objectives, the questions you need to address, where do you want to get it from, and what do you do with those questions? What do you do with that information when you get them? So you're going to be looking at each of them closely. And now the first part is the what your objective is. Now your objectives could be telling more people about your business. It could be for you to sell more products or services. Valuable customers. It could be for you to find new ways to engage with previous customers, or it could be anything. It could be more brand awareness. It could be more people drawn to your store. No, it could be getting an influencer to get things done for you so that the publicity is on the high. It could be something. There should be an objective about what you want to achieve, right? Now that's step one. Now the number two is what questions do you want to address? Now we're going to be looking at this with this acronym, the RAIN. The types of questions to ask about your business will need to follow this structure, the RAIN structure. Who is your target audience and how do you reach them online? How do you get to find them? Where do you find those audiences online, right? And now the next one is going to be the E, which is for the engage. Are those guys finding them on your website, on your social media page? Are they finding what they need? Are you satisfying them, right? Are they actually booking, which is the A now, activates? Are they booking? Are they paying for the services, right? Are they booking? Are they paying? Now, after they've done that, are they coming back, which is the end now, nurture? Are they coming back to do business with you? That means if they are coming back, that means you must have satisfied them the previous time. So if they are not coming back, that means you didn't satisfy them the previous time. If you didn't, talk a lot of questions because a business is as fruitful as having returning customers. If you have customers that are not returning, then there's something you may need to check because that business will not, number one, you won't have people that are telling you about others because possibly your services were not good enough, right? So you need to have something about your business, maybe a hook, maybe a discount somewhere, maybe a free shipping somewhere, maybe a free packaging somewhere, something. There should be something about you that should make them want to come back, being that other people are doing the same business like you. So there should be something about them leave other people to patronize you, right? So it's important you have returning customers. And now the third part, which is where do you want to get all those information from? So now gaining the right information can come would be from your social media platforms where you get to find and measure the views, the likes, the follows, the shares, depending on the platform, right? The platforms like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, they always have reporting features so that you know what is happening around those pages, around those platforms. You can also gain information from organic search results, identify what customers are looking for, and to find that possibly on your Google Search Console, get to find what customers are looking for, get to find the keywords they are using. You can also gather information from your have the most views, what pages have the most disengagement, what pages are having the most bounce offs, and all of that. And you can always track that with the Google Analytics. We'll talk about that shortly. And then you can from the pet search. Pet search, maybe you're running ads, right? There's always that part that shows you where people are coming from. If you find the gender, you find the people that are using Android, iOS, find people are using tablets, find people are using desktops. So all those details are always laid out to you. If All right. So when you find those information from all those places, what do you want to do with that information? What can you do with it? How does it affect your business? So now using those insights now would also help you to identify the industry, identify with the insight you've gathered, you can see what is trending per time in your niche, right? And then you can know where to channel your message to. And then you can also improve your user experience. You understand the customer's path to purchase and make changes that people are bouncing off the mall. And then maybe there's a block there, or maybe there's some information there that is not very clear. And then you can tweak those options to make it more friendly, more user friendly. For instance, a website that has the call to action at the bottom of the page. Somebody needs to before they get to take the action. Whereas if the call to action was somewhere at the top part of the page, somebody would have taken action immediately. Coming from wherever they came from, they would have taken action immediately instead of running to the bottom of the page. So you can find out which pages are doing all those bounce ups so that you can know where to a better experience. And then with the content, with the information and the insight you gather, you can also identify what type of content people are engaging with, be it on your social media accounts, be it on your website, or any of those platforms. You can find out which information is resonating well with your people, your audience, when they come the room now to tweak the information towards what actually resonates well and better with them, to adapt the overall strategy of your business, everything, right? Ads to the social media and everything, you get to understand how people relate well with your brand, with your business, and then you get to overhaul the strategy. Right. So, having said that much, I'm just going to take a pause. This is the first of the 4 pauses. The first of so that I can answer all your questions. Okay, so I can see Lydia. Thank you so much, Lydia, for joining. Thank you, Asama, for joining us. Nasi, thank you for joining us as well. And every other person that is present here in the chat. So I'm going to be waiting for your questions. So do you have any questions for me? Okay. In the chat. And don't forget that Sandra is there in the chat to answer to all your questions and all your queries. And then if you have any concerns, please drop it in the chat. Okay, so Lydia, I hope Ghana is well this morning, and Asama, I hope Ghana is beautiful this evening, not morning. Don't mind me. It's beautiful this. Housekeeping again, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and hit on the share button if you have. If somebody to come join us here in this very, very super amazing session. Avura, I hope Ghana is beautiful this evening. Thank you so much. So ask us questions wherever you have questions, wherever you have concerns, anything that crosses or anything that you want us to explain a little bit more. Feel free to drop it in the chat. We'll be happy to engage with it. Second part of this presentation while waiting for your questions. Okay, so now the second part is how you can identify the best tools to use. Excuse me. So which analytics tools do you currently use? Which analytics tools do you currently use? So share with us questions for me. Let me be the one to be asking you questions. So which analytics tools do you currently use? Share with us. Which one do you know? Which one do you use? Share with us in the chats. We'll be happy to see what you're doing. And if you have an idea, Faith, okay, Faith is still here. Faith, share with us which analytics tools you currently. Lydia to say something. Lydia, could you say something? Asamoah, we are waiting for you to drop something. Say something about which analytics tools you currently use. Okay, so while we to the presentation proper. So these tools are the basic ones that are available and we can always get to reach them and use them. Media platforms, we have the likes of Twitter, you have the likes of Facebook, you have the likes of Hootsuite, right? So Twitter will always give you that analytics part where you get to find out how your post or your ad is behaving. Same thing with Facebook. On the page, you get to find out the total engagement on the page, shares, likes, clicks, impressions, and basically just everything available, everything that happened around that particular post or around that you share some raw data with you of the demography of the people that were targeted, demographic of people that were actually reached, and all of that. Same thing with Hootsuite. And then you also have in the Google Search Console, which is a which is a tool that can enable you to do your search engine optimization, right? So you get to find out Google crawls the entire website of yours when you submitted your sitemap and you've done your listing and your due diligence. Google crawls your entire website to show to you what is good, what is not good, make suggestions to you, and then you can see some insights on that Google Search Console. Same thing applies to the Google My Business, which is a free tool that Google offers to you to fix your business on search and on the map, right? On search and on the map. It also offers you a free website, and then it gives you that local search and optimizes your website, your business locally. While the Google Search Console tool is for the technical search engine optimization. Then you have the Google Analytics, which basically is to check the activities that are happening on a particular website. So you're going to be looking at each of them briefly. And now we have the Google Ads. Google Ads, like I mentioned earlier, the paid search offers you that particular platform where you get to find out the way the activities of the ad is behaving. Everything around the demography of the people that are being reached, the country, the kind of devices they used, and all those basic details that are all presented to you from the Google Ads analytics parts. Okay, so let's look at each of them briefly. So a typical picture of what you're going to be finding out with the Facebook ads, you get to find what people are engaging with on your Facebook page and how they're basically finding you. You get to find all the activities, activity page, the page views, you get to find the page likes, you get to find the reach, and the page engagement, you get to find the follows, and then you can always adjust all these options by time, right? You get to find out, you can tweak the option, you can adjust it by weekly, adjust it by monthly, and all those other options that are all there for you to tweak and get your results out to, so that you can see how a particular post behave between this period to this period. And like I mentioned with the Google Search Console, you get to find out valuable information about your websites and the visitors on that website from the Google search results. So this one basically narrows it down to how you can get the information from here to make sure that your page gets to rank better. Because the Google Search Console is a tool that actually reports and measures your site's performance, the traffic, and every other thing around that your website. So it gets to also suggest and give you some suggestions you can use to fix issues and make your website perform well. Ultimately, the aim of the Google Search Console is so that your website begins to rank higher. You can always find the ranking of your web page, average ranking of your web page on the Google Search Console. You may not find that on the Google Analytics. The Google Search Console gives you a little more details on possibly you can find out maybe a particular picture is too heavy. So Google is going to make suggestions, even suggest the codes for you of what you can do and to maybe lower the pixel of the image, or maybe the video on your website is too low, or it's loading, making the website load very slowly. Google is going to give you suggestions, going to show you the number of pages, the pages that are most engaged with, and why people are engaging with those pages the most, right? And then it's going to show you the most searched keywords that is bringing people to that website. It's going to show it all to you. It's going to show you the devices that people are using to get there. All those little details are very, very key for you, so that you may want to tweak the information and then you can better target the audience that you are actually doing business with, right? And now we head over to the Google business profile, formerly called the Google My Business. So you use the Google business profile to manage your online presence across the Google search and across the Google Maps. You get to create listing which customers get to engage with around your business. You can gather reviews. Reviews are powerful. Reviews are like word of mouth marketing. So businesses, people that are searching for a particular brand, a particular product, will always want to read the reviews first before they go ahead to actually make that transaction. So you can find where customers are finding you from, can find all the actions around that listing. You can find the calls that came, you can find the map locations, and several other interactions that that particular platform offers to you, right? And then Google Business Profile also offers you a free website, and then you have the platform also to put in your business operation hours, when you work, when you don't work. And then you have a platform also to tell your story, your business story on the website, and just basically everything around what a business can offer. You can make posts like you do with your social media accounts, all in one, and all of them are free. Interestingly, the Google Search Console is free. The Google My Business is free. All you just need to do is just set it up and get it verified. So you can head over to business.google.com. I'm sure Sandra can get that link and post it there in the chat for you. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the Google Trends, which is also a trend search feature that shows how popularity a particular search term on Google is, right? So identify the popularity of a particular search term on Google, whether the trend is on the rise, or the trend is on a decline, or just shows the undulating pattern of a particular trend. So you can view, you can also find some demographic insights on related topics, related queries, what people are searching for, to better understand what is happening around the Google search platform based on the particular keyword that you're searching for, right? So Google Trend also provides access to a largely unfiltered sample of actual search requests that are made to Google. So what people are searching for globally is also shown to you. You get to find out, for instance, like the week that the Queen passed, you saw the keyword that would have been trending that period must have been the GBP, must have been Queen Elizabeth, must have been United Kingdom, right? So there's a particular, that was for the UK, there's a particular thing that could trend at the moment. So you need to use the Google Trends to check what is trending per time, right? So Google Trend is very powerful. It's very powerful for keyword research and every other thing. So let's check up how you can rise above the competition with the Google Trends. So use Google Trends to find relevant topics. You can head over to Google Trends on trends.google.com, and then you can type a particular keyword. You can type a word like, let's say, pizza. So you can type pizza and see the trend of pizza within the period of, okay, let's say you can type pizza and filter it from 2019 to 2022. Now, there's a possibility that you may find out that there was a sudden spike in the year 2020 when the COVID was on and the lockdown was on, because I think people must have ordered more pizza within that period, because there was no pizza to people to run out into a store for. So I'm thinking there must have been a spike within that period. So you can always check up keywords, and you can always compare keywords. You can compare pizza and shawarma. For those of you that like pizza and shawarma like myself, you can always compare those two words and check the trends over a period of time, right? You can check the trends over a period of months. You can narrow it down to your country. You can narrow it down to a particular country. So see how people were searching for those keywords over that period of time, right? And then you also get to monitor competitors. You also help you to understand how the search volume is, whether it is on the increase or is on the decrease. Also allows you to find out and see seasonal trends, right? You can find out what was trending at a particular period and what was not trending at another period, right? And you can find out that some meals trend within a particular period, some kind of clothes will trend within a particular period, right? And it's a rainy season in Nigeria here, and there's flood everywhere. So I can be sure that if you check the Google Trends, you're going to find out some keywords about the flood thing. It's an election era too, that you're going to find out that the elections will be trending as well. It's also elections again. You can find out that this popular Labour Party is trending, right? Labour Party is trending alongside the APC and the PDP. Now I'm speaking about Nigeria now. It's different. It will be different, obviously, with what is obtainable in your own zone, based on what you want to do. And you can also use the Google Trends for keyword research. When you make a search about a particular keyword, if you go down to the bottom part, you're going to find related searches. That is Google now suggesting keywords that are related to what you're searching for you, to make it quite easy, right, for you to pick relevant keywords based on what you want to achieve. Yeah, I also get to find topics by regions. I already mentioned that. So you get to target customers at local, region, and global scale. So it's quite important. If you've not used Google Trends before, it's a tool that you may want to jump on. So head over to trends.google.com, and then you're going to check up a lot of things, and it's free too. Everything here is free. Let's go over to the next free one. So the Google Analytics. Google Analytics basically gives you that ability to understand uh, your sites and check the performances of your marketing, your content, your products, your services. Google gives you, by just plugging a particular code onto your website, you get to find out Google gives you a lot of results that will help you to dig up the activities happening on your web page, on your websites, the various pages that are getting the traffic, and all those little details that are very useful for your business, that are very useful for your growth, so that you can use those information now, combine it with what you wanted to achieve, and tweak some more options to give you more results, right? All right, so I'm gonna be questions. So if you have questions, it's time for you to ask me. Okay, thank you so much, Sandra. I can see Sandra has been doing a great job. Yeah, Fed asks, can Google Search Console provide insights to websites? Yes, exactly. Exactly what I was trying to explain. Yes. Ask us questions. So if you plug what just Google Search Console, and then you just open that site, and what you are going to see is going to be add your site, and then what you type in the either the domain name or the URL. Google is going to generate this little file for you. It's a HTML file. You download that file and send it for you. They do what they need to do from their back end, and then that particular Search Console page gets verified. Now, when that page gets verified, submit a sitemap of every page on that your website, submit it to Google. So Google is wrong, what is not wrong with that page. Going to give you some alerts, some notifications to check what you can. Sometimes you begin to see it scroll, you see the clicks, you see the impressions, you see the click-through rates, and all those. Then you see your average ranking based on the industry that you belong. You see the average ranking of your website on the search page. For instance, if I may use a brand like Binance. So if you type anything crypto, Binance is going to show up. Why? Because Binance are already, they've dominated that space, right? Doesn't mean that there are no other, is that they've done a lot of search engine optimization on their web page, and they have a lot of backlinks. So you see their screen, you see their ranking. They must have been maybe your company that's going to show forth to you. Binance will show first three, can be sure of that. So if they don't show, of course, Google doesn't permit crypto brands to run ads. So all crypto brands are doing is to use the search engine optimization, and this is the tool. This is the go-to tool as long as search engine optimization. The Google Search Console is a tool used for the technical SEO. You may not be able to do everything on your own. That's why I said you need to download that HTML file and send it to your developer. And just so you know, you may not be able to use the Google Search Console tool if you don't have, you may not be able to use it for the Google My Business website, because you need a professional website to be able to use the Google Search Console. Then Google to show you all the keywords that people are using to drag and to bring them to your website. And for your content, you put them on the proper headers so that it still draws the traffic to you. Faith, I hope that served. Thank you so much for asking that very brilliant question. And Sandra, thank you for throwing that note up there. All right. Yeah. So you may not just, you have to intentionally fix your website on the Google Search Console, right? You need to fix it there intentionally. Don't think Google will just do it for you. No, they won't do that one. Okay. All right. So thank you so much, Faith, for asking that. And all right. So I can see Priscilla. Thank you so much again for joining. Yeah, so let's just go on to the last parts of this presentation before we call it a day. Okay, let's say you can understand and analyze your data. Like I said, we are going to be speaking a little more in depth about the Google Analytics. So this is a typical dashboard of what the Google Analytics look like. So you get to people that are searching for you, you get to find out the popularity over time, you get to find out the active users, the new users, the new visits, and how you acquire those users, right? And now setting up the Google business, is very simple. Now what you're going to be doing is head over to Google, analytics.google.com. And now you choose a name of your company, you choose the industry, and just every other basic data that will be asked of you. And just so you know, this only works with your Gmail. You can't do all this, you can't use any of these platforms aside from your Gmail. The analytics is free, but you need to use a Gmail. You need to use a Gmail. Google Search Console is free. You need to use a Gmail. Google Trends is more like a web-based tool, so you don't necessarily need to use any Gmail for that, right? So it's a web-based tool. It's just like for you to type Google, and then go over to the search bar and type something and search. That's how the Google Trends also works, right? You don't need to have a Gmail to access that. You can just type trends on google.com and then you can find that. So setting up your Google Analytics, analytics.google.com, putting your business name, putting what you're going to find is Google is going to generate this tracking code for you. And now to track your site performance, you need to add the correct tracking code to the various pages. Let's say you want to track the website, you want to track the performance of the home page and the checkout page. So what you need to do is copy that tracking code that will be generated to you when you set up your Google Analytics accounts. And then if you were the one that built a website, fair and nice, you just plug it into a particular designation where it's supposed to be, or you just send the code to your developer. Your developer is now going to fix the code where it is supposed to be, right? And now you should also know that when using a website builder or a blog, there may be simple field where you can add the tracking ID on your website. Because what happens is different website builders have different locations where those codes can be plugged in, right? If you want to track the activity of all your pages, all the your developer will need to do is just to plug that code into all the various pages that you want to track, right? If you don't have the need for, you don't want to track the activities of all the pages, you just plug it into the website that you want to check the activity. And just so you know that this Google Analytics is, and now they are the main features and the main areas that gives you the ability to learn about what is happening on that page. So if you are using the Universal Analytics, now there are two types of them. You have the UA, the Universal Analytics, and you have the GA4, the Google Analytics 4. Now that is the latest version of the Google Analytics. So with either of them that you are using will always give you these four basic reporting features, which is going to be the audience, and then you're going to find out who those your audience are, who are they, where are they coming from. Is going to be the acquisition. How did they find you? Which locations did they come from? Did they come from paid search, from referrals? Were they just direct searches? Did they come from social media or any of those locations where they came from? You find them under the acquisition parts, and then the behavior is what are they doing on that your page, right? Just bounce off. Did they take an action? How long did they stay? The session counts. What is the span? Did they spend up to a minute? Did they spend seconds? Show you the average time that each person spends, average time that everybody spends. You find out the behavior of the people that actually got to visit that page, and now that visitation, now what was it worth to you, which is now the conversion. Did they complete the goals? Did they complete the goals of what you want to achieve? Did they pay for the product? Did they check out, or did they fill that form? Did they sign up for that program? Whatever it is you wanted to achieve, were they worth to you when they came to your website. So you are going to find all that information on show you the activities of what happened when they arrived at your website, and then the acquisition will show you where they are coming from basically, so that you know which of the platforms to pay more attention to, right? And then the audience will show to you who those guys are. Are they male, female? What devices do they use? Which country are they? Which locations are they coming from? And all those raw data, right? And now you get to find data in Google Analytics looking like the dimensions, which is the watts, and the metrics, which is a number. So you get to find that if they came through organic search, they came through referrals, direct paid search, social media, or they came through affiliates or display marketing. And then the metrics, which is a number, so is going to individually distinct the number of all those locations where those guys came from. Get to find out the various figures of where they came from and the number of people that came through each of those channels, the number of female that came, the number of male that came, the number of devices that were used. It gives you all those little details distinctly so that you'll be able to know where to pay more attention to and where not to pay more attention to. All right. Okay, so let's see how we can use the rain to ask the right questions, and then we can know what to do with those information. Like I mentioned earlier, the rain structure, which is the R, which is for reach. How are people finding you online? How are people finding you online? Get to identify which search terms are driving the organic traffic to your websites. Like what the Google Search Console offer you. Get to find out the words that people are using to search for you to drive them to that your websites, right? Then get to look to improve the links from all your social media platform that is actually driving people to your website. And then ultimately you develop relationship with the referral website or whoever is drawing the traction to you. You develop that relationship and make it stand firm. And then the E for the engage. What are people engaging with when they find you online? Which pages are people viewing the most? Learn which pages are getting more of the views, which pages are gaining more of the attraction, which pages are getting more of the traction when people are visiting your website. You discover what is really engaging to your visitors. Maybe you are giving a discount, maybe you are giving a free shipping, or one of those, a little perk that can attract people. There should be something about the particular page that is drawing people. So you get to find out how people are engaging with that particular. Then you can find out that a lot of people are losing interest when they get to your payments page. So you get to find out maybe you don't have a lot of enough payment options and to enable people to easily do with okay, maybe you have PayPal. Some people don't have PayPal accounts. Or you have all those little options. See, there may be something on that payment page that is not letting people actually check out when they need to. Which channel is driving the most bookings? Which of those channels could it be the social media? Could it be the ads? Identify which of the referring sites and bring more quality traffic and now establish the link between those places to look out also for the underperforming websites, underperforming channels, so that you can always review those and draw more people to you eventually. And then are customers happy to come back? You get to know feedback from people so that they will know, so that you get right and what you're not doing right. Respond to all those reviews. It's very, very important to respond to. Tend to see that you're a real person. People want to identify that they are dealing with a human being. You need to try different ways to encourage purchasers to leave reviews, because that is what ultimately will encourage the next person that is coming to do business with you. And like I mentioned earlier, to come back and do the business with you, you may need to think around it, because word of mouth is powerful, and word of mouth is the reviews that people are leaving. So if you are not having returning customers, there's something definitely wrong. These are not too good. Maybe your products are not too good. Maybe the quality needs to be checked or something, so that you can have returning customers. You can have people that are happy to drop reviews for some other people to also assess your with you. All right. So once again, let's talk about the Google Trends. So with the Google Trends now, you get to explore what the world is searching for, everybody's searching for keyword in that search. But remember, I said the Google Trends does not necessarily need you to have a Gmail. It's just like typing Google, going to Google to make a search. So you just need to type trends of Google. Here that Google is not going to give you people that are paying for art and some other websites. It just give you the keywords, and you can do a comparison of various keywords and can see daily trends, daily search trends, can see trends of over a year, can see what is trending today, can see real-time trends. Is going to be the NSAS. There's 2 days from now. It's going to be the Nigerian NSAS. 2 years. It's going to be 2 years by now. So you'll be finding out that NSAS is going to be trending. And can see real-time trends. You can see trends of months ahead or months before rather, or years behind. You can always narrow down those trends to the countries, right? Can with different search keywords to find out how each of them are behaving in comparison to each other. And yes, you can promote your business around seasonal trends. Seasonal trends will always allow your business to stay relevant and very competitive. So throughout the year, your business will experience all the peaks and the dips, the ups and the downs, which is normal for every business. Find out that Anika might use Google Trends to identify seasonal trends in types of clothing. And then you can always create content with demands, adjust to the demands of what works per time. Like in Nigeria here, a few weeks ago, it was I don't want to be I don't want to be a mechanic. I want to be a baller. You understand? So a few weeks ago was that, right? And it could have been something else. There was a time it was God I beg you, something like that. There's always something about and then create content around those keywords as a business, as a brand, and obviously it must be something relevant. Imagine you selling Christmas trees in August. It will work definitely, right? If you are selling thick jackets, you're selling thick jackets during the winter period, you see that there's going to be a rise in the need for thick jackets, whereas it's going to be low in the summer period. So like I mentioned earlier, you can always, like what you're seeing on your screen, you can always do a comparison between a particular keyword and another keyword. Okay, so you can use the Google, like I mentioned earlier. So what keywords are people searching for? And then you can just go down to the search, to the Google result page, to this Google Trends page, and then you can find the related queries, the Google questions. Now this forms a very important part of your keywords. You can use those keywords to run a campaign. You can use those keywords to make a research. You can use those trends to identify some other potential keyword tags. You name your product. You can optimize those posts according to the trending keywords. You can find out what is working, what is trending at that particular time, what is not trending. Content around what is trending, because what is trending is actually what is going to give you that attention. Imagine if you go to Twitter now and then you're using a particular hashtag that is not what is trending currently. You're wallowing in the dark. That's the truth. If you use a hashtag that is trending currently, there's every possibility that what your tweets will show up faster from the whole tons of tweets that people will be tweeting for that day. So you jump on trends. That's how you jump on trends and you put position at the right time. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna be taking the last pause to answer to all your questions. So share with me in the chats what questions you have. Okay, not see. Okay, I wish I saw this earlier. I'm sure that is from your phone. Maybe what I've just put up the portraits from landscape format so that you would have seen it much clearer. Thank you so much for pointing that out. And Celia, thank you for your kind words. Okay, yeah, please, I need your questions before we jump off. Yeah, Lydia said, okay, please, can I say it is advisable to use a common phrase if you sell suits and the first suits to help your brand name appear in trends? Well, not necessarily in the brand name. But if you create content around, suits. Let's say you're selling suits. You create that has suits inside. Then those contents are on the Google's. You have a Google Business Profile platform, right? And then you use the Google Trends to make some keyword research, gather up some more keywords, write content, post it on your website, write content, and put it everywhere. Let's say you have a professional website as well. Use this Google Search Console to optimize that website and make sure it comes to the first page, at least, maybe if not the first page, at least to be close to the first page. With all of that, a combination of all of that, everything adds up. Like there's something footprints. I open a Google Business Profile for a. And when we finished, I was trying to test if it was working, and what we the internet and picked some pictures of hers that's she wanted people to see, right? And then she picked Google picked those pictures and showed it. So I tried to explain to her that Google crawls the internet. Google crawls when you entire internet to pick keywords, and display the ones that are present on the web. When people make a search about what you do, Google crawls the internet and displays websites that have those you basically see. So if you have keywords, content on your social media, have it on your Google Business Profile, have it, especially if you've made a keyword research with the Google Keyword Planner, maybe Google Trends, or any other of those tools. What you do is your digital footprint all adds up to when Google actually is crawling the internet to present a search result to anybody that's making a search. Add that name, add the suits. I'm not saying don't add it, not necessarily, in the brand name, but make sure you have content enough actually are doing. If you have a website, make sure you concentrate those keywords on strategic places. More important, the header tags, H1, H2, and the rest of them. The developer should understand that. Thank you so much, Lydia, for asking. Yeah, so Faith said, I noticed using the Google Search Console to get my property verified first. Can you explain further on this? Yes, Faith, it's the same thing I was trying to explain earlier. Before you even get to set up the Google, verify that page. And like I explained, the verification is not, it may not be, if you are not a web developer, or if you are not the one that built. So Google is going to give you a couple of options. I think the Google Tag Manager is one of the options. And then you can also find, you can get to find another. Download that file and send it to the developer. The developer is now going to be the one to make it work. They will just verify. It's a very simple process. So they will just get it verified, and then that's it. And then you can begin. Google will begin to crawl that website to show to you all those stuff I was explaining the last time. Yeah, thank you so much, Sandra. And you've been trained. Thank you so much, Fred, for asking that very beautiful, amazing question. Okay, so if you have some more questions, answer all your questions. So if you have some more questions before we call it a day, please drop it in the chat. So meanwhile, for the Google Hustle Academy, so if you have a small business or a big business, head over to g.co/hustle academy, and then you'll be able to scam where Google is going to teach you about a growth plan, about sales, about digital marketing, teach you how to, and match you to a mentor that will lead you through and guide you around everything. And it's 1 week You need to take advantage of this if you are yet to. And now, for those of you that may want to get, this is something that is more worth than this, worth more than the slides, right? So head over to learndigital.google.com /courses, and then you head over and you see a lot of content around basically everything, digital marketing. Some of those courses, most of those courses come with certifications, and then you get to improve your person, and improving yourself. All right. So Sandra is going to share that link in the chat as well. So on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and basically just on everywhere. Okay, so this is a very big thank you to you and learning with us. I hope you feel the attendance as well. I get that. Then I was hoping I can get it without going through. You may not be able to do it without websites, right? If you're the one that built it, I'm sure you can just jump on Google to show to you what you can do, right? So, but if you're not the one that built it, it may be difficult to bypass the guy that built it. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Faith, and everybody that kept us company. We sincerely appreciate you, Sile. And I hope you got value from this time that you spent with us. Oladipo, Priscilla, Fanny, and Lydia again. Learn and speak French. I didn't see you again. Okay, and everybody that joined us, thank you so much. Having you in the next session. So until then, enjoy the rest of your day. Yes. Yes, I'm happy to help you fix all your holes. And Seram, thank you. Some link is already pinned to this call. Please look out for it, and fill the form. Please fill the form, so that so much, Sile, and have a beautiful night. So see you guys when next we meet. Right.